Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break.
It's time to work on becoming an actor with David Sarcusa. David started his acting, screenwriting, and movie production career in 2021, producing his first full-length feature film, which he wrote, produced, and starred in The Uncivil War, America Divided, within a year of entering the business. And he's the host of Becoming an Actor on the WTAN Talk Radio Network. Now, here's your local, not yet famous, quite Hollywood star, David Sarcusa.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How you doing out there? Welcome to Becoming an Actor on the WTAN Talk Radio Network here on 1340 AM and 106.1 FM. I'm your host, David Sarcusa, and I am going to be talking with Mr. Florida Actors himself today, Rob Riddell. And we're going to get to Rob in a second here. In the meantime, if you want to talk to him, and why wouldn't you, call us at 727-441-3000. You can talk to Rob about anything acting related, or you can talk to me. Probably don't want to talk to me, but that's all right. Before we get to Rob or talking to me, this was another disappointing week for me, my friends, because I was not on set again this week. I know it is a horrible thing not to be on set. Trust me, I know. And to me, this is an important lesson. Acting is sales. Acting is selling yourself, whether you're talking crew, whether you're talking being in front of the camera. This is sales. I am not busy right now. And the reason I am not busy right now is I was just actually talking to the owner of the radio station, Lola, and she asked me how Sundance was and the skiing. I took off 3 weeks to go skiing and to show up at Sundance for 1 or 2 minutes. And I did not take any time to work on getting any jobs at that point. So guess what? I am now sitting around right now waiting for jobs to pop up. You have to always be looking. You've got to be on Backstage. You've got to be on Actors Access. You've got to be on Facebook. You've got to be putting yourself out there. You've got to be looking around. It's just a simple fact of the matter. Now, maybe if you've been doing it for a long time, you're a working actor, you're Rob Riddell, then, people go looking for you. I'm brand new to the industry still. I am 2 years in the business now, I think, maybe a little bit over. I am basically still brand new. If you want jobs and you are new to the industry, or even if you've been at it for a while, but you just haven't broken through yet, you always have to be looking. When I was selling insurance, even after I had been in the job for many, many years, was very successful at it, I could still see my sales dip as soon as I took a little time off. It's just part of the sales world. That's sales 101. If you are not out there looking, do not expect people to be looking for you. You'll get to a certain point in your career where that will happen. I got to a certain part in my sales world of insurance that people came looking for me and said, hey, I need insurance. And yay, it was great. I could do it, but I still was not getting as much as when I was constantly putting myself out there, talking to agents, asking for business. If you are not talking to casting directors, if you are not putting yourself out on Facebook, if you are not going to the acting websites and looking for jobs, it's not going to happen for you. Do not feel like this is a reflection of you as an actor. This is a reflection of you as a business person. You have to get out there and get the jobs. That is your job. If you want to be a working actor, an actor who is constantly hired, who does not have a second or third or fourth job in order to make ends meet, then you have to be selling. One other thing that I want to point out, because I've been thinking about this, is I have also spent a little time, another part of the reason I haven't been on set is because I've spent a little bit more time working on trying to get my movie out there, The Uncivil War, America Divided. Investments take time. If you are investing in yourself, if you are investing in other projects, do not think this is a get rich quick scheme. Acting is a get poor quick scheme for some people. But if you are going to invest, because I've talked about this before, sometimes I've done the paper play roles, and it's a good way to get yourself out there to try and grow yourself quicker in the business. I've done where I've invested in films to try and get a return on those films. It takes a long time. My movie is going on 1.5 years since post-production. 1.5 years. I am just now at the point where I am trying to put it out there now to get it into the theaters. I'm hoping to have it in theaters in the middle of April. I'm going to have the cast and crew. It'll be open to the public. Hopefully, I'm going to have my fantastic Hollywood stars, Musetta Vander and Danny Roebuck there, along with all the other fantastic local cast and crew people. But that's 1.5 years since we finished filming, not since we started. A lot of the times when you invest before you start principal photography. So you're talking, you could be going on 2 years now. And that's not me seeing a return. That's me just now saying, I'm going to put it in the movie theaters. And I am paying to put it in those theaters. So I'm going to try and recoup my money from ticket sales. Am I going to be able to do that? Probably a good chance I will not. This, again, is another investment in me, in myself, in my future, in the business. But it may be a short-term loss for me. I don't really care as much whether I make money or lose money necessarily. Obviously, I want to make money on it, but that's not my main goal. My main goal is I want to get it into the theaters. I want people to see it. I want people to review it. And then I want to try and take that and use it, hopefully, for distribution where I'm getting it onto a Hulu, a Netflix, something like that, where I can get more people watching it again. And I'm a business person. I'm retired from the business world, so I've got money, so I can take those risks. That allows me that freedom. But if you've invested in a movie and you're looking for money back, I'm 1.5 years in, and I have not seen a penny of profit yet. I'm going to be another 3 months in, and we're going to be going into the movie theaters. I'm not going to see a profit. Then I'm going to hopefully get distribution. Maybe at that point I'll see some profit. Maybe, but I've got a lot of money that I've spent that I've got to make up for. Am I going to get that back? Probably not on this first one. Sorry, dear. My wife might be listening right now. Maybe it will happen on the second one. Maybe it'll happen on the third one. I'm investing for the future. That's how business goes. A lot of the times you have to put money out there in order to make it. If you invest in a film, though, do not expect you're going to get a return on that in 3 months or 6 months or a year. It's going to be 2-3 years before you start to see any money back. If you do, it's an investment. There is a lot of risk. I've invested in at least 6-7 films other than my own. I've not seen a penny of profit from any of them. I haven't seen a penny of my expenses come back to me yet. I am hopeful, but my bet is I will probably only get paid back on maybe 3 or 4 of those, and it'll probably just be a return of investment, maybe some profit, but not much. So if you are investing, do not look at it like you're putting money into savings. This is money in a very volatile stock market. It is because you're growing your business. It's because you are growing yourself in the industry. It is not I'm going to have the next Empire Strikes Back and we're going to make millions. That just doesn't happen very often. So just thought I'd put that out there. One more thing. I was just speaking with a friend the other day at a Super Bowl party, and they were talking about their son. Their son's an unbelievable ballet dancer. Unfortunately, I've never seen him in person, but I've heard the stories. He's amazing. And he's been recognized as such. And one of the things that showed his recognition is a filmmaker came to him and said, we need ballet dancers, but we really want to make it look legit. We'd like to offer you a role in the film. You'd get the dance, but you have to act. And he's still a kid, 17, 18, 19 years old, young, very young to me. And he said, I am not an extroverted person. I don't want to act. And he passed on the role. And I looked at my friends and I said, I wish I had been able to talk to him, because I would have explained to him there's so many actors in this business that are introverts. There are so many people in this industry, I think, more so than even people realize, that they're introverts. It's tough to explain. And I said, but when he gets up there and he dances on stage, he's in front of all those people. And they said, yeah, but he doesn't have to say anything. And it's different. There's a wall for him between the audience and him. And I wanted to say, acting in a lot of the ways is the same thing. A lot of the times you're just sitting across, like I'm sitting across from Rob right now. A lot of the times you're sitting across from one person. Yeah, there's cameras around you and lights. When I start acting, I don't know about you, Rob, but I don't see any of that stuff. I see my scene partner. I see the person sitting across from me, exactly. And I am talking to them, right? Is that similar for you?
Totally agree. I don't see the cameras. I don't see the fourth wall. I don't even know they're there.
If, sometimes if the camera's like right in front of your face and you have to talk to the camera, okay, I can see that. But to me, you don't have to be an extroverted person to be an actor. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Totally agree, 100%. Most of them are introverts. I consider myself an introvert on certain occasions.
I was going to ask you, what do you consider yourself?
I'm quiet.
Quiet? Okay. On occasion. So there's times when you're extroverted, but then there's a lot of times when
most of the time, I wouldn't say introverted, but I'm quiet. I'm low key. I won't be the first one to speak up.
You're not the life of the party?
No.
Okay.
I don't sit in the corner either. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Gotcha. I'm the life of the party. If you get the right amount of fruity drinks in me, then I'll break out. But yeah, it's funny. I think as soon as the camera, they say action, you say that first line, I think for a lot of people, the nerves go away. And I think people that aren't a part of the industry, I don't know if they realize that. I don't think they understand that. I think people see actors and they think, these people, they're used to the adoration and they're used to the people around them. I used to actually, for me, sports was more of that than acting. You make a basket or something and the crowd's yelling and everything. Because usually when you're acting, it's usually, a scene like this. Hey, you're an actor in a radio station and you're talking to the other actor in the station.
And they don't realize we're on set sometimes 10, 12 hours or more a day. So we don't see a life outside of that.
Right. And how much of it is actually acting when you're on set for 10 or 12 hours?
An hour, maybe.
An hour. Yeah. If you string all the time together, right, it's an hour. So anyway, I thought that was very interesting. And I really wish I'd gotten a chance to talk to him. I hope I get the chance to talk to him because I guarantee you he's going to have more options like that come up. And I want to tell him, man, grab that. You'll be so sorry if you missed out on that. So, but all right, I already kind of brought you into the discussion, which I don't usually do before you get your chance to introduce yourself. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself and then we'll take the call because we already got a call coming in. So Rob, first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. My name is Rob Rydell and I actually broke into acting by accident. I was a scholarship athletic athlete at a UCLA. And back in the 80s, you weren't allowed to have jobs, any extra money, nothing. It had only come from your parents. That was it. So they gave us fake jobs. And my job was to drive a little old lady from Holmby Hills to Brentwood, which is really about 5 minutes. I never actually drove her. And that was to a producer, Arlene Sellers. And they said, well, we're going to give you money, but you're going to work for it. I'm like, oh, cry, Mimi. And it ended up being, I had to be an extra in all her films. So the first film I was ever in is Irreconcilable Differences. Then there's
nice.
Swing Shift, Night Shift, Goldie Hawn. Everything they did, I was in. And I was an extra. I'm the guy in the diner on this, whatever. So that's I learned about everything by talking to these stars. And then I was in Back to the Future. We were doing a scene on a different part of the Universal lot. And a PA came over and said, I need your age group. How many you got? I go, I got about 20 of us. We were just sitting around. And so we went over to the lot on Universal where the clock tower was. And we filmed it. And I was throwing a football. It's when Marty McFly comes into the courtyard and he's finally realizing the clock's working. And you see a guy throwing a football. That's me. Then he turns the other way, And guy throws a newspaper in, and he looks, and there's a guy riding a bicycle. That's me. And at the end of the movie, dancing. I'm one of the dancers. I can pick myself out. No one else will be able to. And then we had to film it twice because they fired Eric Stoltz. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
yes,
they fired. So we filmed all those. They needed the same sequence and the same players. So we got paid twice for doing the same scene.
That's awesome. Good thing they got rid of Eric. Good thing he was such a difficult person to work with. I saw there was a special about the fact that they had to fire him and go with Michael J. Fox.
I didn't. All I knew he was gone that day. I mean, I'm too low on that totem pole to know what the real facts were.
Yeah.
And then I got married, raised my daughter. She's 30 now, and my daughter said, "I have my own child. Why don't you go back into it?" So in 2017, I dabbled my foot back in, and I got a huge hit. It was with Michael Pena, and we did the Bud Light commercials.
Oh, nice.
The Bud Light party.
Very good.
And just kind of took off from there.
That's great. Okay. Well, great to have you back in the industry. And Matt, let's see who's on the phone.
Yeah, Lynn from St. Petersburg is on the phone. Wants to comment on what you guys have been talking about tonight. Lynn, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Lynn. How you doing?
Lynn.
Hi there. How are you? I was skipping around podcasts and I heard what you were talking about, and I just had a quick question. I'm a woman in my 60s. Is there a market for like extra work for someone like me?
Oh my God.
100%.
Yes, absolutely. There are so many places that you could get involved so quickly. Facebook, there's lots of apps that you can go to, like
Casting
Backstage,
networks.
Casting Network, Actors Access. I mean, there is a ton of stuff that you can get on very quickly. People are always looking for extras. Now, are you looking for it for the money or just because you would love to be on set with someone like a Michael J. Fox?
Well, I'm a retiree. I was in education for many years. So I'm here in St. Pete, and I would love to have something exciting like this to do versus, working for a supermarket for $15 an hour. So it's not so much. I don't think I'm going to make $1 million, but I think it would be fun. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, here's a good idea for you. I run a Facebook page because I want to help other actors, and it's called Casting in Tampa Bay. If you go there on Facebook, go under Casting in Tampa Bay, I put up posts I find every day, at least twice a day. I put them up, and because I just want all of us to help each other get booked.
That's so cool. So do I have to have like photographs and audio, or I don't even know where to be on? I'm, a newbie.
You will need to get some headshots done, but you don't need to do that immediately because most of those roles, they want reels, which you'll get an app like Cold Read or something on your phone, and you can just read the parts and they'll read them back to you, and you can record it and send it in for a demo.
Yeah. And
that's so exciting.
Yeah. To get involved for what you're talking about, you really don't even need a headshot. You can take one with an iPhone. I mean, iPhones or a Android, whatever. I mean, the smartphones are so good now. The cameras are fantastic. Just take a picture. They just want to see what you really look like. Because again, the background roles. So the best thing about doing the background, Lynn, is you'll get out there and you'll meet great people like Rob, and you'll talk to him and you'll say, "Oh, thanks for having me in your group. This is great. I'm on this thing," and you'll be there, and you'll meet 10 other people, and everyone in Florida is just the nicest people. I have not found a single mean or unnice person on set. Everyone will give you hints. "Oh, this is where I go to get all of my stuff." And then if you want to get more serious about it, like Rob was saying, then you can go and you can get a demo reel done, or you can get professional headshots if you want, and then you can get more serious with it. But just to be on set as background, you'll make $50 or $100 or something for spending the day there. But like you said, it's so much more fun. To me, it's so much more fun than, bagging groceries or something. It's just a good way to meet a lot of great actors. You'll see there's a lot of fantastic actors that come and work in Florida. You really will see a lot of really big name people. Sean Astin, Rudy, was here for a couple of films recently. Dean Cain shoots here all the time. Martin Cove from Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, Sweep the Leg Johnny. He was just here with his son Jesse. I mean, you meet a lot of really interesting, fantastic people. Kevin Sorbo from Hercules. There's a lot of great names that shoot here, and they're really nice people. You get to meet them. It's fun. Sometimes they let you take pictures with them. You just be respectful about it. But the one thing I will tell you is there's a lot of downtime, though. I always say that on my show. There's a lot of downtime. So bring a book, bring snacks. If you don't like the snacks that they have there, most oftentimes they'll provide some little crafty for you. Yeah, some peanuts and candy bars and things like that, power bars and stuff. But I always bring my own stuff because I'm very particular. So, but bring something to occupy your time. Bring a charger for your phone if you play on your phone a lot, and then just go out there and meet people and have fun.
Well, I'm relatively new to Florida. I'm from New Jersey. And I guess my other question linked to this is, women in my age group, like, are they looking for a certain look, or it doesn't matter? It just has to be like, a warm body kind of thing.
That's up to the client. For instance, a client will ask the casting director to, I need this group of people, women age 60. I want blondes, brunettes, whatever. And the casting director will shop out. Send an email out, I'm looking for 60, this age group, and then she'll send those pictures or video to the client. Then the client will decide, pick which one he wants. And then from there, you'll get cast. But yeah, I honestly think those roles are easy to get.
Yeah, for background, you're usually not going to have a problem with that, Lynn. A lot of the times, a lot of the films that I've been on, they're like, please, we just need more background people. We need 30 people in the background, and we've got 15 here. And they're scrambling. And a lot of the times they'll bring in their friends or relatives and stuff like that. Yep. Because a lot of these films that are in Florida are non-union jobs, and a lot of them are low budget. So they're just looking to get live bodies in there sometimes. So, for me, sometimes, even if it's unpaid, I'll be like, oh, you know what? They're shooting down at Clearwater Beach. I'll go sit at Clearwater Beach for the day. I'm not really doing it necessarily for the money. I just love being on set. And you never know who you're going to meet. I was there one time for background. Randomly, I forget who put me on it. It was probably Carly Lowland. She puts me on a lot, or Virginia Bryant. And I showed up to one. And one of my buddies was there, and I'm talking with him. Zachary Vasquez is there, and he shoots me a text, and he says, I didn't know we were getting T2. It was the gentleman who played Terminator 2.
Wow.
Played the Terminator, that Foz Schwarzenegger. Oh, I'm blanking on his name right now. He's been in a billion things, but I'm like, that's really amazing. I get to work with this guy. I get to be here.
Are you thinking of Robert Patrick?
Robert Patrick, thank you. I knew you were coming back to give that name.
Yeah.
Matt loves to give the names out. He knows everybody.
And the key to when you're on those sets.
And if I forget a name, it's called Google.
Google, yeah.
But that one I just happen to know because Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies.
Yes, it's awesome.
And the key when you're on those sets, even as an extra or background, be nice to everyone. Everyone be nice to. Do not be rude or inconsiderate of anyone. Always be nice. I'm not saying you have to go out of your way to be nice, but be respectful and nice to everyone. An example of that is I was on a set. I wasn't a major player. I was a supporting artist, and I made sure I was friends with everyone. Well, 2 weeks later, when I had my downtime, I got a call from a casting agent, and they said, oh yeah, the PA on this set liked you. So I got cast from a PA just telling a casting director because I was nice to them. And that's all it takes. One person to be nice to where you can hit it big.
Yeah, that's kind of the neat thing about this world is,
right?
One day you're somebody's boss, and then 2 weeks later you're a PA on a set or something, and they're like directing the movie, and you're like, what the heck? That guy was a PA 3 weeks ago. I mean, I do it all the time.
It happens all the time.
I'll be on set. I was just on one a couple of weeks ago. I was a PA on it because my business partner Cookie asked me to do a PA? I said, yeah, sure, I'll help out. Turns out that was the one I got to drive Martin Cove and his daughter Rachel around, and I had a lot of fun on that set. That was Les McDowell's set out there, Dry Creek, and it was a great time, But it's so funny. You never know who's going to go from PA to director to producer to executive producer, back to PA, back to this, that. I mean, everybody does everything in this world.
They always say, be nice to people when you're going up the ladder because you're going to meet them on the way down.
On the way down, that's right.
Well, I mean, I work with the homeless downtown, so I'm not rude. I'm from New Jersey, but I'm not one of the rude ones. So.
That's well, Matt, my producer in the studio, gave the thumbs up when you said New Jersey. So you got a fellow gentleman in there. So,
all right.
Welcome to the state, and thank you so much for calling in, Lynn. I hope you listen to us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and I hope we get to see you on set. If I see you out there, please come say hi to myself or Rob and introduce yourself.
I certainly will. And thank you so much. I'm so stoked. And you guys have been so inspiring.
Oh,
thank you so much.
All right. So that's a great call. And I appreciate that so much, Lynn. And all right. Let's get to you though, Rob. So we already talked about the fact, are you an introvert? Are you a extrovert? We kind of talked about a little bit with Lynn, what she just called in about getting involved. And one of my first questions I like to ask, especially to the actors, is what's your best advice for someone getting into the business immediately? And we kind of touched on that already a little bit with Lynn. But if someone was just, regardless of, I'm just looking to try and get into background work, or I want to get full blown, I want to be a lead actor, what's your best advice to someone starting out?
Audition every single day. Never give that up. Even when I'm on set, I'm filming, and I'm in a green room, I'm scrolling casting networks, I'm scrolling Actors Access, and I'm seeing what else is out there, because you don't want to just be on one set, you want to be continuous sets. I'm booked out till April now because of what I've done and what my agent has done. And I'm booked out to April. And that to me is great, but April I want to be booked out to July. I'd like to be 6 months in advance. I'm just happy to be booked out 3 months in advance. But always be auditioning. That is key, I think. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, it's kind of like what I was saying at the beginning of the show. I'm not busy right now because I took time off. I wasn't on my phone. I was out there. I was on the slopes. I said, I'm just going to forget about everything. And I had a great time, but I'm paying for it now. I'm not booked out a ton because, and now I'm focused on some other things, but I can see it. Normally at this time, I would be on set someplace right now, and I'm not right now. And I've only kind of gotten back just now into applying to a few places and auditioning and stuff. And so now in 2-3 weeks, I'm going to start to see them start rolling in, and then I'll get back to being busy all the time. But I did it to myself. I took the time off. And then you feel the repercussions of that. So I think that's great advice. I think it's fantastic.
I know you mentioned Carly Lolan Ringer. She's gotten me, I think, 2 castings so far, and almost a third. I mean, she is phenomenal, I think. You had her in studio once.
I did, yes. Although I'm angry at her right now because she hasn't called me in like a month. So Carly, if you're listening, you got to pick up the phone and call me. Come on. I am busy not doing my job, so you got to help me out.
Carly, do us all a favor. Call us here at the station, 727-441-3000.
There we go. Well, Lynn just called. Now you need Carly to call too. She's busy. She's trying to get me a job right now. So
that's a little more important.
Yes, exactly. So,
and you can't expect your agent or casting director to call you. You need to promote yourself. You need to audition for the role. You need to basically always be auditioning.
So now that's interesting. A lot of people, I think their thoughts are, okay, I got myself an agent, I've got myself a manager, I've got whatever, I got a few jobs now, and it's time to not coast, but I don't have to look all the time. Do you see the difference when you're out there pushing yourself versus when you're not?
Oh yeah, when I slack off, the jobs go away. 100%.
And is it just 100% your agent is just constantly bringing you stuff? Is it just all
It's
up
kind
to
of
the
a combination. A lot I get myself on casting in Tampa Bay on Facebook. A lot I get from Carly. I get most of my West Coast work from ICM International Creative Management, who represents me out on the West Coast, and Tamara Hunter with Apple.
Okay.
That's what I basically, and on the East Coast, there's, let's see, there's Vicki Roberts, there's Louisa's people, MLCP, Select Miami Talents. They submit me for a lot of things. I only get a trickle coming back, so I have to promote myself for stuff every single day. I did 2 promotions this morning. I saw on Casting Networks, and I submitted for it. Now, here's the key to that. Casting networks like Mark Mullen Associates, if they want you to submit, they want you to submit with an agent. They don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to your agent if they want to book. So that you got to be careful of those. So I always look for whatever the role is, how much plus AF. That means plus agent's fee. And if it is Mark Mullen or whatever, go to your agent, say, can you please submit me for this? If you have an agent. If you don't, just submit yourself, and basically the little box you can put, I do not have an agent, and then they can contact you to submit.
Gotcha. And do you ever feel like, okay, I've got it? Well, first of all, it sounds like you have multiple agents, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like there's different ways you have to work with your agents? Do you feel like certain agents push harder for you? Do you feel like all agents are kind of created the same? It's just they're going to give you an opportunity, and then you go with it, and either you get it or you don't? Or do you feel like some of them push for you?
I think they do push. Vicki Roberts pushes for me a lot. I've gotten a few from her. Select Miami Talent seems to submit me every week for something. I haven't got anything yet, but I'm hoping to. The fact that they're, hey, we submitted you for this, we submitted you for that, before I even looked and was going to submit myself. That to me it's impressive from them.
That is great. Yeah. I actually submitted with Professional Pretty, and I had submitted with them a number of times, and I hadn't gotten anything. And I kind of thought, I wonder if they're even looking at me. Every now and then I'd get back, submitted, and I wasn't getting anything with them. And I actually had kind of thought, maybe I'm just one person and they've got 1,000 agents and they're just not looking at me or whatever. And then all of a sudden I got a couple of things with them in a row. So it's funny, maybe it's just, it's just like anything else. Maybe you're just not the look that they're going for at that time. Maybe you send in a audition tape that you thought was fantastic, but wasn't or didn't come off the right way. And it's just a matter of timing sometimes. So I'm a big believer of, just because you haven't gotten an immediate response does not necessarily mean that they aren't pushing for you. They aren't trying. Sometimes it just takes a while to, it lands, and then all of a sudden you get, everything going the right way. So
I auditioned 100 times, and I'm lucky if I get 1% that comes back as a positive. And that's even good. 1%.
So do you feel like that percentage has gone up the longer you've been in the business, or is it?
No.
Okay.
Still 1%.
Okay. See, I look at that as a good thing, because I look at that as, if you're new to the business, then you're saying, hold on one second.
On Casting Networks, a lot of people don't know this. If you hit the 3 lines on the top right, it will go to Roll Tracker, your insights. If you click it, it'll go to Roll Tracker.
All right. I was wondering what you were trying to show me. I'm not one of those guys that can multitask.
So once you're submitted for a role, it'll show you whether it's submitted, whether they're going to be calling you back. That's the good thing about Casting Networks.
Okay, interesting.
It gives you an update. This is what we're going through.
Interesting. Okay, yes, I have not done that. Actually, I think I finally got rid of Casting Networks. I went with Backstage, and I probably need to go back to Casting Networks, because it's just like I was saying, like with Professional Pretty, I went quite a while before I got anything, and then I got a couple of things with them. And I think it was just, I had gotten some stuff immediately with Backstage, so I said, I'll just get rid of Casting Network. And I feel like
I did the opposite. I got rid of Backstage because I was getting more jobs from Casting Networks.
Yeah,
I just think it's the luck of the draw.
Yeah, you never know. And that's why I was starting to say, I think it's a good sign, because if you're getting into this business and you're like, okay, I haven't been doing this for 20 years like Rob. How long have you been doing it?
About 20, 30.
About 20 or 30 years. I haven't been doing it like 20 or 30 years like Rob. So that's why I'm not getting accepted to anything. But it's not that after 20 or 30 years, you're this amazing actor and that you're going to get 80% of what you apply for. And I hear that a lot from the big stars too. They're like, hey, I had this big hit role and then I thought it was going to be so easy and I was going to be coasting. And they're like, it took me a long time to get something after that. It really just seems like it's going back to, again, submit, audition.
Just keep going. Don't get frustrated. I mean, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, you're going to be rejected. Accept it and move on. Right?
Yeah. It's sales. It is sales. You have to put yourself out there. You have to expect that it's not going to happen, because then when it does, it's very exciting. it's really cool. Yeah. And then sometimes you can even make some money sometimes. So the money side of that, I mean, that's always a big factor for a lot of people. Like I said, I retired from owning businesses. So for me, it wasn't about the money. It was, I wanted to do something fun, and this seemed like a cool industry to get into. But I still, I look at it and I say, hey, this job's paying $500, $200, $1,000. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Everybody wants money in their pocket, right?
Yep.
What do you feel is like an average job in Florida? Or do you feel like you can't go for average jobs in Florida? You've got to get outside of Florida because Florida just doesn't pay enough.
For acting?
For acting.
Florida's tough. There's no incentives for filmmakers to even film here. And the pay is, again, it's all non-union. So it's usually low budget. Now, outside production companies that come in, like the film I'm shooting in Orlando, they're an LA crew, and that comes with SAG pay,
bigger pockets.
Yeah. And plus you get the per diems, you get everything, you get the hotel stays, and but that's one in a million.
Right.
Again,
now I will say Pinellas has some incentives here locally. So you can get up to 20%. I'm going through that within Civil War right now, speaking with Lisa Dossois. I apologize, Lisa. I'm always trying to figure out how to say the French name there the proper way. But I'm going through it with Lisa right now for our film. And again, it's never a quick thing, getting those incentives back. It takes a while because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be gone through in order to get it. So I will say, at least Pinellas, I'm very happy to say that we have a lot, which is why we get some of those Hallmark movies and the Lifetime movies, which are always nice to work on.
And you and I were in one, but we worked different. You and I have been in like 4 or 5 different things, but we've never worked together except for The Clock.
The Clock, yes, that's right. And then what was the
Halloween Town? No, yeah, Halloween Town.
Halloween Town.
Halloween Town was up in
Valentine's
Town.
Valentine's Town, yes.
That's right.
Yes, that was in Dunedin, right?
Yeah.
Great. And I love shooting in Pinellas. So I certainly hope the incentives stick around there. And I hope we get some incentives from the state of Florida, because it is painful not to have incentives. It is tough not to have the film industry supported more in Florida on a state level. We're lucky that Pinellas does something for us. And now Tampa has something as well. Hillsborough has some tax incentives as well. I'm not familiar exactly with both programs, but they do something. And I don't know of many other areas. There's something small, I think, that they have down in Miami as well. So there are little pockets of incentives.
Osceola County in Orlando.
Okay. Yeah. So there's little pockets of incentives around, but Florida as a whole no longer takes the film industry, I don't think, seriously as a whole. And it's disappointing. It is really
very disappointing.
So it is difficult. You have to get outside the state of Florida sometimes. But how about commercial work? Do you do much commercial work in Florida?
There's a lot of commercial work. Mark Mullen Associates with the cruise lines is huge, especially for my age group, 60 plus, huge. But they're also doing families now to Disney World. I see that every other month. I see, we need families in their 30s with their children and the babies. That seems to be huge, and that's the circle with Disney.
And that's tough sometimes, though, to get the family to do it. I mean, you got to have mom, dad, the kids. It's a little easier for us old guys because
I played a grandfather. I have no idea who my daughter was, and my son-in-law or my 2 children. They weren't mine.
They weren't. So it's always
they were
nice
for that day.
Yeah, it's always nice when they let you audition not as a family, as the individual, to be grandpa or grandma or the parents even.
And they put you together.
Yeah. I'm kind of in that, I'm in that in between right now I'm a betweener because my kids are in college, so I'm kind of
You're too young to be a grandfather.
Yeah, hopefully I'm still too young to be a grandfather, but I'm definitely kind of too old to be a father now. And even though I tell my kids I still look young, they just laugh at me. So, what would you say is the biggest block to people getting in the industry on the acting or the crew side?
I think a lot of people think it's easy, and it's not easy. It's not an easy.
So like
thing
not enough of a challenge, or like they're going to just be sitting around not doing anything all day, or
I think that, and people don't take the initiative to, hey, you know what? Let me research what I'm actually applying for. People read submissions, but did you really read the submission and the breakdown of the character and find out what's really going on? I mean, I can't go in depth like I normally would on a set. I would go in depth with what time it is, where I'm at, what's my emotion to the character I'm speaking for and with. I mean, it's method, but it's not psycho method where I play in character 24 hours a day. But I want to know enough about that breakdown of that character before I even submit. And a lot of people just don't take the time to research. Even a PA, you need to research what a PA is. Definitely, you need to know the lingo on set. If you don't know, you have no business being on set. You have to do a little bit of studying. You can't just jump in and say, "Oh, I'm going to do it."
Yeah, it's funny when I did the casting for the Uncivil War, I looked at a lot of the people that were applying, and like when I put it out there for my co-star, Buddha's part, Bronson's part, the character was a black male in his 50s, and I'd get 35-year-old white guys.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, did you not?
They don't read
who this is.
They do not read.
You're not a 50-year-old black person.
You can't just hit submit,
you don't even look like it.
Yeah,
you don't even have a tan. I don't understand why would you submit for that? I mean, there were other roles that I needed 35-year-old white guys for. Apply for that. I'd have women apply for men's roles, and not women that look like men.
Oh, I don't know if you can go there.
Like women.
They may identify as a woman.
They nothing to do with that. They just did not. I'm thinking, I don't get it. You're like 80 years old and a female and Asian, and you're applying for a black male 50-year-old. What are you doing? And so I never knew if people just weren't paying attention, were just applying in the wrong spot. But it was always bizarre to me when I did that. I just delete.
Goes back to that laziness. They didn't read what was in front of them.
Yeah, horrible. So how difficult is it to become a working actor? To be able to say, this is my full-time job?
It takes a lot of luck, 100% luck. You can be nice to everyone on set. You can do all the things we talked about, but you have to be lucky too. I'm a working actor because I got lucky. I did one thing that some executive for some company liked, and they wanted me to come back and do it and sign me to a 3-year deal. Okay, I didn't do anything with that. That was their decision. And it's luck. It was luck I got that. It's that luck that allows me to come back to Florida and help out with these independents. I could help out the Kylie Nicole Pecks and her film, the Bobby Borellis, the Heather Fraley's, Lexi Baca. I can help out all of them that are doing their films when I'm back in town, and then I can go back and do what I'm being paid for.
That's awesome. It's a lot of fun to do that too, isn't it?
It's a blast.
That is so much fun. So, all right. So we already talked about, getting rejected. One of the big things with actors is I want to get on set, which I'm always preaching, get on set, get on set, get on set. One of the big things though is working for free. Do you work for free any longer?
I do. I mean, I definitely would help out those producers and directors and everything I just mentioned. Along with Anthony Caban, I like to work with people I like that I've worked with before and I had fun on set. I'm not going to go somewhere where I didn't have fun. And I've had fun on set with Lexi, Kylie, Bobby, Chris D. Roberts, Heather Fraley, Anthony Caban, Jose Roden, Mike Guzik, Dylan Swan. I've had fun on set with them. So if I see anything on them on Facebook or whatever they're doing, I want to get on with them and I'll do it for free because I had fun with them on set. We got along great.
What about the argument that you're taking roles from someone who wants to get paid?
But it's usually an independent. They're not
going to get paid anyway. That's great. So I do go back and forth with that though. because I didn't get into the business to make money necessarily. I don't mind working for free, but I get people who say that's not cool because that's why Florida has not grown as an acting world, because people are working for free. And so therefore someone who should get paid is not getting paid. And that's why we have these low budget films.
I mean, there's an argument for that, but I'm not subscribing to it.
Okay. I'm not either, but I always like to hear everybody's thoughts on it, because I do understand the argument, but I also look at it as, hey, people need to start out. People intern all the time. You have to learn the lingo, like you were saying. You can't be on set if you don't know the lingo. A lot of the times, hey, if I'm working for free, you can't get, mad at me. You can't bust my balls if I don't know the lingo. I'm working here for free, right? You're not charging me. I'm here to help out, but I'm going to learn as well. That's how I'm getting paid.
Watch, listen, and learn.
What's that?
Watch, listen, and learn.
Watch, listen, and learn. Exactly, right? You're growing in your industry. That's a little bit of doing the research. To me, that's doing the research. You get on set, you learn what you're doing, you meet the people like we were talking about before, and you put yourself out there so that the next time you're on set, maybe you can charge to be there because you have grown. You're a better actor.
Or they're on set and they want you to be on set with them.
And they want you. They say, you did great the last time. I didn't pay you because I didn't know who you were. Right. Now I know who you are. And I do want you for this part. It's a bigger part. I'm willing to pay you for it now, right?
Yep, 100%. That's exactly how it works. Be nice to everyone.
Are there any jobs out there that you won't take?
I refuse to take anything that is endangerment or harming a child or an animal. That includes that in there. I will just no go. Period.
Okay. All right.
I won't do that.
Gotcha. Otherwise, everything else pretty much good to go.
I'll go as high as the R-rated, but then no further.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a good way to say that. I like that. Okay. Yeah, because I get into that discussion all the time. It just came up again the other day, actually, with Kylie, and she was saying,
she's so awesome.
Yes, she is. She's wonderful.
Kylie.
Oh, great. Come on, give her a big head.
Her and the bomb.
So she said, I won't do the kissing. And to me, that one's like, I don't care. I've already done it in a scene. I don't have a problem with it. But then I go back and forth with it. I get it because there's only so far that I would go with sexual situations in films. To me, kissing is like, no big deal.
Not.
I mean, in a film, if you're married to someone or something, or you got a girlfriend in the film, you're probably going to kiss them because that's what you do in real life.
But even kissing on set is not fun. It's uncomfortable.
Yes, I'm not saying that.
They want to do different takes and dirty takes. And it's like, okay, I'm over this. I like you, but this is getting really redundant.
Right, exactly. Yes. So that to me says it's not like I'm doing this because it's so exciting. By the third or fourth take, you're like, okay, got to do it again. Okay, all right, great. Now we got to flip the world. We got to do it from the other side, and we got to get this. And then you're like, okay, it's just, and it becomes a business, which it doesn't become a business. It stays a business. It should stay a business because that's what it is. You're not there for goofy thrills or something.
You're capturing the shot.
You're capturing the shot. It's part of your job. So it's funny. I go back and forth with arguing with people about that all the time, and I find it interesting. So you do travel for work. Do you travel a lot for jobs?
Every 2 months, I travel out of state. But when I'm in state, I like to help out the independents. Okay.
And then when you're in state, usually your travel, is it an hour at most, 20 minutes?
Usually Orlando if I want to get paid.
Okay.
Tampa is usually freebies.
Okay.
But that's pretty much how it's kind of working out. And I don't mind that at all. I don't mind helping out. I mean, I love everyone in Tampa Bay area. I've worked with a lot of them. And I just think everyone's great. And everyone is a team. They help each other.
Yes.
And whether they're making money right now or not, it doesn't matter. We're creating a world.
It is. I have to say, I absolutely love the people in Florida. I say it all the time. Really, really just a good overall group of people. We were kind of talking about that at the beginning. Everybody's always looking out for each other, trying to help. So I couldn't agree more with you there. So, all right. You already gave a lot of shout outs. Was there anybody that you missed?
I did actually miss Well, I wanted to emphasize Kylie Nicole Peck and Lexi Baca, who are doing WTR
Oh, you already
Cities.
said Kylie and Lexi. They're on the
doing
show all the time.
WTR
Go move on to
Cities.
somebody else. We're tired of hearing about Kylie and Lexi on the
Heather
show all the time.
Fraley, Anthony Caban, I mentioned him, Jose Rodan, Mike Guzik, Dylan Swan. But WTR Cities, I want to see be very successful when they finish that film. You're in it too, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that film. It's going to be fantastic when it comes out.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my shout outs. And obviously, Carly Lillian Ringer at KLR Casting. She's phenomenal.
Great. All right, cool. Any last hints, tips, other thoughts that you want to throw out before we roll?
Casting at Tampa Bay Facebook page. Look every day. I'll have roles up there. Get yourself Casting Networks and Actors Access.
Yes, and I will second that. Your Facebook page is wonderful. I'm on there all the time. And in fact, it's funny. I've tried to share your post the last couple of times, and I'm feeling like a boomer because every time I share it, for some reason, it's not sharing the link. It's just my comment on there. And I don't know how I keep doing that because I hit share, and then it says, do you want to say something about this? And I'll be like, yeah, great opportunity for background or something like that. And then someone will ask me, hey, where's the comment? And I'm like, I don't know where the post is. I don't know.
It's the 3 lines on the right side.
I know. I'm doing it. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I'm a boomer. Anyway, thank you so much for joining
thank you for
us
having
today.
me. Appreciate it, 100%.
Yep, it's been great having you.
Thanks,
I know
David.
we've been talking about it for a while, and very happy we finally got you out here. So I'm sure we'll have you out here again in the future. Thank you to Lynn for calling in and asking for some
Thanks,
great
Lynn.
questions. Yeah, thank you, Lynn. So Rob Rydell, I'm sure we'll be back on the show again. Couple of things before we run. So I have not gotten to a couple of my segments recently. That's because I've had guests on like Rob who just talk, and I can't get to my own stuff. So, but I will be getting back to some of those other segments like the set terminology, don't look like a fool. That's a great one because I think it is important, like Rob was talking about, when you get on set, you should know what you're talking about. I really think it's good to hit Google, to hit YouTube, to learn as much of the technical terms as you can before you get out there. The terminology, our industry, unfortunately, is full of terminology, and it's good to learn that stuff when you can.
At least the basics, right?
The basics, yeah. I mean, you can look up basics for set terminology, and there's a lot of stuff there. So I will try and get back to that. Also, our local movie spotlight. If you are producing something like you were talking about, Water Cities, WTR Cities, if you're producing something here locally, I want to show it. I want to talk about it on my show. So please reach out to me, and I would love to help you out with that. Also, got a big announcement coming soon. I've had Kevin Rigo on the show in the past, and we are currently looking for a warehouse in St. Pete area right now because we are going to have K75 Stunt Academy starting soon. We are going to be training our Hollywood stunt performers out there really soon. Fighting techniques, open hand weapons, falls from heights, all of that stuff. I can't wait until we have found a spot, and we'll tell you all about it. In the meantime, folks, I love to say it, get out on set. Have a great week.
My baby.